Well, good afternoon. This is Mary Sumners, president of Friends of the Minnesota Orchestra, and today I have the pleasure of congratulating Todd Allard for being our first volunteer of the month for the year 2025.
Thank you.
So if any of you have been on the Friends website recently, you may recognize Todd as the person in the video on the front page working happily with the Kinderconcert children as they experiment playing with the instrument. Todd, we're so appreciative of your volunteer efforts, and we'd love to get to know you a little bit and
Nice.
hear about your experience. So my first question is, how long have you been a volunteer with Friends of the Minnesota Orchestra, and how did you become involved?
I started, I think it was this fall. A good friend of mine twisted my arm to join the Friends of the Minnesota Orchestra. Thank you for the invitation, Mary. And I jumped on, and I love it. It's been great to really jump in with both feet and understand all of what Friends of the Orchestra does. I had no idea that it even existed before you asked me to be a part of it, although my family and I are huge fans of the Minnesota Orchestra and have gone to Orchestra Hall for many years, but didn't even know about Friends of the Orchestra. So it's fun to join.
Well, it's wonderful that you've gotten so involved, and many of our leaders have commented, frankly, on seeing you around so much. And given our mission, which is connecting children and families to music, we're keen to hear about your early connections to music. So what is your most memorable music experience as a child?
My parents were both big fans of music, so there was always music playing in our house. And a big part of our family history was to go downtown to the Orchestra Hall or the Guthrie or any one of the performing arts centers kind of throughout the holiday season. So that's my rich memory from being a child, is going downtown, getting all dressed up and being a part of a concert or a show or something. And the most memorable experience of all of those was going with my dad to see the Minnesota Orchestra perform Star Wars and Holst's Planets. Because my dad was a huge Star Wars fan in addition to being a huge classical music fan. So it was kind of like right in the zone for him. And I got to be a part of it. It was my first experience in Orchestra Hall, and the cube design kind of blew my mind in terms of just the bigness of the experience. But that was really, really memorable.
That's wonderful. And it is great, isn't it, to see the eyes of the children as they come into the hall and experience that for the first time when they come to a
It's unlike anything
concert.
you've ever seen. It's really amazing how that all came together.
That's wonderful. And finally, given our practice of connecting little ones to music through children's literature, what was your favorite children's book growing up, or maybe your favorite book that you read to your own children?
Well, I have a really bad memory, so I can't really remember any of the books from when I was a child, but I do remember the books that we read to our kids. And we didn't have an easy path to having kids, so we weren't really sure that was ever going to be a reality for us. So when my son came along, we were kind of all in on every little memory and experience with him. And one of those was his fascination with the moon. And I'm not quite sure where that came from, whether it was this book that we read called Papa, Please Get Me the Moon, or if he had a fascination with the moon and the book just kind of manifested that. But you can see how trash this book is for the number of times that I read it to him. And this is a story about a father appreciating a child's wish for the moon and going to the nth degree with ladders and everything else to try to get it for his daughter. But this has been a real special memory, and it's a good reinforcement, I think, of just how special our kids are.
Oh, that's wonderful, Todd. Well, thank you for sharing a bit about your experience with us today and for being such a great volunteer. I'll add that in addition to being an active Kinderconcerts volunteer, Todd is also a Friends of the Minnesota Orchestra board member. And since we're all an all-volunteer organization, our board members are also valued volunteers. So thank you, Todd, for all that you do for Friends.
Thank you. It's great to be a part of it.